Hi and welcome to everybody. Hello, everyone in the chat. A few of you been here for a while. We have a special guest today. Can you guys hear me clearly? Anybody? Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the crew. Dum dum dum. Hello, everybody. This channel's about everything. Sugar and spice and everything nice and maybe not some nice things. We have a special guest today. I would like to introduce everyone to Lady Luck to the stage, please. Lady Luck, are you there? Your mic is muted. Yep, there you go.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Hi, I'm obviously Lady Luck. I wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff, like especially the mental health piece that's been floating around the community. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in psychology, and I'm currently completing my doctorate in psychology. So I've been studying this for a while, and there's just a lot of misinformation going around in the community now. People being attacked. I don't like it, and I have done some of the wrongs in this community, and I just feel that maybe this is my chance to maybe put some information out there that might make people think about what's going on and the patterns and stuff. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. So I will let you. It's good to know that you have actual credentials. Therefore, you're speaking on a professional from a professional's point of view. So I'll let you take the stage if you like.
Okay. Is there any way that we can share stuff? Have we figured that out or
I am waiting on that. Because we're all professional around here.
I'm trying to share the screen. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
we can hear you? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it's not sharing. Just give me 30 seconds. Hold on.
Thank you. Is it cold where you are, Lady Luck?
Yep, it's Canada in January.
Nice.
Good times. Yeah, it's not as cold as it would be if I was living in Winnipeg before, so that was really really cold, but where I am now it's tolerable.
I like the cold weather.
I prefer it actually to the heat. Like when I think of Australia, like warm Christmas, because I'm Canadian, it would be weird to me.
Yeah. It's a lot of people say that, but we are so used to it. I'm looking for something.
Okay.
This is not coming up. I don't understand why it's not showing. Just give me a sorry.
That's okay. Did you want to talk a little bit about what's been happening in the community?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. I was part of some of the same stuff that Ron was part of.
Mm-hmm.
We like I said, I'm not sitting here like I haven't done anything wrong, that's for sure. I've apologized to a few people. I still have a few apologies to make. And things just stopped adding up a little bit, and it's just the treatment. I think if people want to make their channels better, like there's a better way to go about it, right? Like that's
Yeah.
kind of yeah. So I just noticed that a lot of the things have been thrown around. People have been labeled, and what my pet peeve is people that aren't qualified to make these qualifications on people, just throwing that around publicly at that,
Correct.
really grinds my gears, right? Because, like I said, I've gone to school a long time. I take mental health very seriously. I don't think people should be vilified over mental health. I don't think it's a weakness. I don't think that it should be thrown around like mud. I don't like it. And that just like that's my big pet peeve about this stuff. That the minute people have their backs up, it's just the discrediting and the devaluing and that whole process that goes on, where you just, you have to reduce somebody to nothing just to feel better. And there's better ways to go about it if you want to compete, right? Like, that's kind of my thinking.
That's correct. And it kind of grinds my gears too when people go on about mental health when they, like you said, have no qualifications, and they try and dismiss a person just because they might think there's something wrong with them, or they throw it out there because it makes them have power. Do you know what I mean? They think it's powerful to say, well, you there's something wrong with you. So that's their gateway out, I suppose, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And when it comes to like my qualifications and stuff, like, I don't know, I can talk a little bit about like the DSM, and the DSM is what they use to diagnose people. It's the diagnostic
Yes.
statistical manual that they use. And like, what it does when you're throwing that stuff around, like, it kind of devalues that. It devalues the fact that people have like real problems, right? It's very serious, right? And clinical diagnosis are important. You have to meet certain criteria to have that label. And I don't like putting people in boxes. I don't like that. So I think that things exist on a continuum. And the word narcissist and narcissistic has been thrown around a lot. And we all have a little bit of it, right? Like, you can have it at the clinical level, where you're diagnosed with this stuff via the DSM, where you have to meet certain criteria to have that personality disorder. It has to exist in every area of your life, basically meaning that you don't get along with anybody. So when they're calling people narcissist and stuff, I think people need to realize that we all have a little narcissism. We all have,
Yes.
okay, but it's not pervasive, where we don't get along with like everybody. Like, we assert our narcissism when we're like, with me right now, like, I'm qualified in this, so I'm kind of like being a little narcissistic about this too, because I'm like, I know what I'm talking about, kind of thing. So I think that's a healthy way to do it. But when you're consistently stepping on people, that becomes a problem, and that's when it becomes a clinical problem. That's when you go into the narcissistic personality disorder. It's a pervasive pattern, and it's across every relationship you have. It's at work, it's at home, it's with friends, it's romantic relationships and stuff. And like, I don't see that exist in the people that are being thrown mud at, like the people that are being labeled that, because they do have friends, and they, you know what I mean? Like, maybe,
Yeah. Yep.
maybe it's you. Like, maybe it's not this
Yeah,
other person,
exactly.
right? Like, that's just my experience.
Projection.
Yes, it's a lot of projection. And the problem is with projection is that the term narcissist is basically, people want to see themselves in other people, so they project the way they're thinking and the way they're moving onto the other person. It looks almost like they're paranoid, but they just assume because they're doing it, you're doing it too,
Yeah,
right?
I
It's like,
agree.
yeah, it's like the spouse that's cheating on their spouse, but then they're accusing their
Yeah.
spouse of cheating,
Yeah. Well,
right?
there was a recent live about this, and I found it kind of very contradictive and very it was kind of disgusting, actually, but at the same time I found it very, like, they were confessing their
Mm-hmm.
own traits, which I found kind of humorous.
Well, that's the thing about narcissism. The most of the literature that you'll read, like, what I'm saying is not my opinion, and it's not something I got out of a self-help book or anything like that. These are
Chat
in
GBT.
yes, chat GBT. Yeah, ChatGPT. These are empirical studies that people have put time in. They've studied people. They have the numbers to back this up, and this is how it goes. It's not an opinion. It's tried, tested, and true fact. It's not something that you got off a website and you can't find the source of that. You can't give the author, and that's kind of how it works when it comes to psychology. Like you can't just make a statement and not have a 7 studies to back it up, basically, right? And most people that call people narcissists, that's actually one of their projections, if that makes any sense. Oh, MMD dropped off. Oh, oh, there you are. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. No, but that's one of their projections. Like usually a narc will call somebody else a narc. And I don't hear a lot of people throwing that at other people. Usually the people that are throwing that word around, like that's their projection onto other people. The joke in
Correct.
the joke in psychology in
Inside
our
the
yeah, like that's the joke in psychology. And the joke in psychology is that if there was a cure for narcissistic personality disorder, we wouldn't have any clients because they're not the problem,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A hell of
right?
a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. And it like that's what I wanted to relay, that it exists on a continuum. We all have a little bit of it, but when it goes to extremes, it's gonna cause problems in relationships.
What about when people and I've seen this a lot, obviously, with one of our friends. She's mental. She's mentally ill. Blah 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 blah. What's your take on that? Because to me, that really pisses me off.
Well, when you call somebody mentally ill, it's dismissive and it's to discredit somebody, and that's kind of like
Yep.
they become the victim if they do that, right? Like they this person doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't want to just silence you. They want you to bow down to them,
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly how I took it too.
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
qualified. Just life's
No,
experiences.
well, I think we learn a lot. Like you're always gonna have either a family member or a coworker or a partner or a friend that is all about them. Like they're just always all about them, and it depends on how much you value that relationship. Like if you're not narcissistic, you'll let them get away with certain things, but you have to have really clear boundaries with people like that. And they triangulate. Like the one thing that I've noticed play out in this community is a huge narcissistic tactic that's called triangulation. And when they triangulate, like they involve other people in their mess, like they don't
Hmm.
speak to people directly. They create loyalty tests to force others to prove their support. They blame others to avoid responsibility. They withhold information and like control the information just to see who's doing
Yes.
what, right? Like,
Yes.
yes, yes. And they withhold information so they can play the victim too. They create conflicts behind the scene, and then they pretend that they're innocent when everything blows up, right? Like that's all these.
That's so true.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a highly effective strategy to divide and conquer. And they don't expect, if they can keep people separate, they don't expect you to compare notes.
That's right. And that's why they try to keep a lot of people away from each other, because then they control the narrative and you can't go, hey, what about this? What about that? What's your take on this and that? Because they've already made you believe that that person is so bad and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's one in the chat now that people have tried to keep other content creators from, where I've always had I don't know whether a soft spot, but I seen something else in this content creator, so I kind of went against the grain
Yeah.
and seen that there is something more to this content creator, but they try and keep you away, so you, like you said, so you don't compare notes, so you don't share views and come to a different kind of conclusion, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's like everybody has a little piece and they don't want people to put the pieces together, so
Yeah.
they have to keep people segregating and stuff. And a lot of what has been going on, like behind the scenes and all that stuff, like that's all triangulation. And usually one person will control the flow of information between two or three people just to keep control. Oh, there we are.
Yes. Oh,
There,
yeah.
there we are.
Of
All right.
course, we got our technician on board here
Go,
because I
Braun.
wouldn't be able to do it. Go, Bron.
Just hang on.
Shout out to Bron.
I've got to kill myself. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, because I've put this stuff. The thing is there's like I know that they have a breakdown of 5 different types of narcissists, and there's all these different things, but under the umbrella there's 2 types of narcissists that are studied, and it's the grandiose narcissist, which is the boisterous, like, oh my god, I'm so great. But then you have the vulnerable narcissist as well, which is you know, a little bit more demure, but they're a lot more covert in the way that they gain their attention.
Ah, I know 2 people like that. I guess I shouldn't say names.
Like I said, it's yeah, it's the way that it plays out, and that's why it looks different, right? Because you know, they publicly they have a persona, but what they're doing behind the scenes is totally contradictory to what people
Yes.
see, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, but then the other type, the grandiose one, they put it all out there. You know, I'm great, and they think that they're special. The grandiose especially thinks that they're special, and they can only talk to people that are special like them. Only people that are special like them can
Yes.
understand them, right? Like, and
Yes. You can only bring value to their life, so to speak.
exactly, they're too good, and they're snobbish as well. That's another thing, they're very snobbish. Like, they just, you know, I'm too good for whatever, and you know, I can only be with special people because, you know, that's what I deserve, kind of thing. They're very snobby, right? But
Bingo,
yeah.
Michelle. Sorry.
Yeah,
Bronze disappeared.
Braun, I saw the beginning of my presentation, but
I
right.
spoke too soon.
Yep. But I mean, like, the 2 types that are the main ones are those types, like, because they're the vulnerable is passive aggressive and more like covert. Like, you don't think that, and it takes you the worst thing to a narcissist person or anybody with narcissistic personality disorder, because there's a difference. You can have the clinical level, or you can have the healthy level, or you can have like a little bit of the gray where it's causing you problems, but you don't meet the diagnosis criteria for a personality disorder, but you can still have a lot of problems. They call it a threshold, where you have to have 5 out of 9 of the criteria, but you may have 4, right? But you're still experiencing a lot of problems in your life, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of the thing where people, if you have a healthy dose of it, it's like narcissism and self-esteem kind of go hand in hand. And if you have a healthy dose of self-esteem and the good narcissism, where they're like right in the middle, where your ego's in check, but you know, you may be, you know, a tyrant at work in the way that, you know, you're the boss and you know what you're talking about. You can go home and you can take criticism from your spouse, or you can take criticism from your friends, right? It's not in every area of your life, right? So that wouldn't be a personality disorder. That would be like seen as a healthy thing. But if you don't get along with your coworkers, you don't get along with other people, like, that's pervasive, that's across every context, and that becomes a personality disorder. That becomes a clinical level, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but you can have people that are narcissistic that don't meet that criteria, but they kind of leave stuff in their wake, right? And they discredit people because they don't want people to see who they really are, right? If
Yeah,
they
that makes sense.
Yeah,
So it's
and
a bit like good cop, bad cop.
yes, and they gaslight, and like, gaslighting is a big tactic. Triangulation, gaslighting, and love bombing, they can all occur at the same time.
Yes, correct.
Right.
And we've seen a lot of that play out. A lot of that love bombing crap play out.
Yeah, and I mean, if they don't, like, there's things that they'll do, if like they project stuff, like, if you go after them, you know, they'll say stuff like, you know, I dislike how you try to control me, or you know, I can't get through to you at all. You know, you think people are supposed to be catering to you. Like that's projecting all the stuff that they kind of are onto other people.
Correct. That makes sense.
Yes. Yes. But then they'll criticize your appearance. They'll call you narcissistic. They'll say you hate them. They'll make fun of your sexuality. They'll shift the blame. They'll play the victim. Like they'll do all these things just so they can hide who they really are, because deep down, like they don't like themselves.
It's kind of sad, isn't it, really?
It is, because it's a cope. Like being narcissistic is a cope. Like whether it's clinical or it's not clinical, it's a cope. It's to get people to back down. They want to get you before you get them. And they always kind of assume that you're plotting against them because they're always plotting against you.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's why they kind of look paranoid.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that bit of paranoia, and yeah, and that some of them think that everything's about them.
They do.
Whether you're not talking about them or not, it's oh, that's about me. They're talking about me, and it's like, seriously, you're a little bit paranoid there.
Mhm. Yeah, and their ego is very fragile. They have very thin skin. They can't take any criticism. And I mean, like, Meghan Markle is a good example of that. Like, she wants to shut down the press so that people don't talk badly about her because she can't handle it.
Yeah.
Right? And she's manipulating behind the scenes and doing these puff pieces and all this stuff. Like, that's the game that they play.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's just that here, like, people are kind of like, I don't want to say shamed, but they'll tell you a little bit. They'll tell you just enough to get you engaged, right? And they don't tell you to do anything, but they've put you in a position where they've conditioned you that you feel like you have to.
Yes. That is so true. And then their comeback is, but I never asked you to do that.
Yes, exactly. Because that way they shift the blame. They don't take responsibility for anything that they do. It's just the dynamic of the relationship that you have with somebody like that, where if you don't do what they expect you to do, like they won't tell you to do it, but they expect you to do it. And then if you don't do it, well, then they're upset. Then they freeze you out. Then they do all these things like to make you feel like you don't belong, right? And they isolate you and they do all these other things. It's just, it's emotional manipulation. It's up and it's down. I love you, I hate you. Like it's all over the place. And it makes people, like, I call it crazy making. That's what I call it. I call it crazy making. It's not a clinical term, but I say it's, they're crazy makers.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just, it makes your head spin.
Yeah, they're making you feel like you're crazy when they're the ones that are manipulating your emotions and what you are doing. They've got their puppeteers and you're the little puppet on the strings and you don't even realize it. We've seen that happen a lot in this community, a lot.
Yes. And the thing is
and by two main people, I would say.
Yeah, but where the gaslighting comes in, and the term gaslighting comes from an old movie called Gaslight, where this man is trying to make his wife think that she's losing her mind, so he's turning down the gas lamps every day, and then when she says it's dark, he's telling her no, it's not dark.
Okay.
That's where that term comes from.
That's interesting.
That's where that term comes from. It makes you doubt your sanity. It makes you doubt yourself. Like then they make you think like you're the problem, right? The majority of the clients that I've seen that have been abused by a narcissist and stuff, they come into my office thinking they're the narcissist.
That's crazy, isn't it? Why do you think this is played out in this so-called Megxit community, which, by the way, I'm not part of. I'm just me.
Well, I think it's always about control.
Control,
Yeah, it's always about control and stifling the criticism and stifling the information that's going to show who they really are. The worst enemy, the reason why this is coming undone right now, I'll tell you, the worst enemy to people like that is time.
Yeah.
It's time. because people start seeing patterns, people start talking to each other, people start comparing information. Well, she told you this. Well, no, she told me that. Like, and that's why they need to keep everybody divided, because they've been playing around with everybody. So then if we start comparing notes, then we're going to put the pieces together.
That is so true. Like I said, they've tried to stop people, alienate some content creators from other content creators, just so they can hold the narrative. And that's why I said this year it all comes unstuck and everything is going to come out in the open.
Yep. And it's people behind the scenes that you wouldn't think, like people that you thought were okay, that you find out have been bombarding other people with messages behind the scenes and making their lives
Yes.
living hell to try to get them to do what they want. Right?
Yes.
Like, and then when people step away, then it's like, then then you're mentally ill and you don't know what you're talking about and all this friggin' stuff. So then then they re-victimize you, because then they discredit you, and then you don't have a leg to stand on, because people think that that you're lying, or that it's just, it's the like Dave Chappelle said that when they call you crazy, it's dismissive.
Yeah.
Right.
But without saying too much, because obviously I don't want to put you in a position, but they gave their game away. And it's kind of easy. Well, it was easy for me and probably Bron to see the game. And that's when we clicked, and that's when, well, shit hit the fan, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for shit hitting the fan.
No, I think sometimes the shit needs to hit the fan so you can actually clean it up and see what's going on. Like, that's the thing. But I think, to be clear, like, nobody in this community has done anything to me. Nobody has harmed me. I've not had bad experiences with anybody, honestly, and stuff. But it's the stuff that they leave in their wake that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah, like I said, I have not been treated badly by anybody. Nobody has treated me badly. I am not here. This isn't a thing. But come on, guys. Like, there's got to be a better way to put your channels up and, put that energy into doing something else to make your channels better and compete, instead of trying to, play games behind people's backs. And it's frustrating, because a lot of the subs are being played. Like, they are, because they don't know. Like, I didn't know that people were emailing content creators. Like, I thought content creators only talk to content creators. I didn't know this was going on.
There's a lot of that goes on behind the scenes, and you have to be very careful. Like, this is why I took my email address off my platform, because you can be easily misled into bullshit. That's why I don't allow contact, I suppose. That sounds terrible, but
No.
some people do contact me on Instagram, but I don't take that to the screen, if you know what I mean. I only take what I know to the screen. And if I do speak to another content creator, I make sure everything's legit before I do take it to the screen. But I will not have just anyone willy-nilly tell me stuff, because it can just be their perception. And I'm not saying all people are nasty, but it can just be their perception. Then you've got yourself in a pickle, because you're regurgitating things that may or may not be true.
Yeah. And I think now that, a lot of the subs and a lot of the content creators, like, have seen it now, they can't unsee it.
That's right. Yeah.
So it makes things a lot more difficult to get on, because now you're kind of questioning everything. You're getting anonymous emails, like, you're getting all these things, and it's like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Like, they're fueling something. And if you want to keep an argument going, if you want to keep the fight going, you fuel both sides.
Yeah. See, I've seen that play out. And can I just say what I want to say? I'm not putting you in a position.
No.
I've seen that play out with the so-called, what they called the troll channels, when they started infighting. Say, I don't want to really name channels, but those channels started infighting. And lo and behold, that was because one of them was getting all these emails and going on those emails, being led by these anonymous emails, which we know who was sending them.
Yeah.
And then that infighting started. That infighting settled down, and then other content creators, such as myself, the same thing happened. So
Really?
that then the trolls are saying, well, how come they're infighting? But now when you put all the pieces together, it makes a very interesting puzzle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like I would notice that certain information that was getting to the trolls should not have been getting to the trolls. That's what I noticed. That's when I kind of started
Yes.
like kind of wondering about stuff that shouldn't have been like, that only a handful of people knew, should not have like been out there, and then it was showing up, and I was like, what the heck is going, who, I knew it wasn't me. I knew it wasn't a few of the people with me, but you don't know who it is. Like, how did they get that? How did they figure that out? Well, now we kind of know somebody was fueling both sides,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
Like, that's how you keep things going. If they're not fighting, well, let's make them fight. Like, what kind of energy is that? Right?
It's dirty deeds behind the scenes. It's
Yeah.
just dirty playing games, and it's pathetic.
Yeah. And there's room for everybody. Like, that's the thing. Like, there is a room. What got me engaged at the beginning is that I'm also a veteran. I did 5 years in the Canadian Army. I'm a veteran as well. And that kind of got me engaged. But then you kind of notice that you were told a little bit of the truth, and then you kind of acted. And then when people confronted you with the whole truth, then you had egg on your face.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. But yeah, like that's basically like what I've noticed is just the patterns, and now people can't unsee it. People are waking up and they can't unsee it. So now it's like, what are you gonna do now? Like, who are you, like, how are you gonna, you can't keep it going. People are seeing. That's why you have to talk to each other. You have to compare notes, because in the grand scheme of things, like, everybody has a little piece, right? Even the people
Yeah.
we don't get along with, they've got a little piece.
Yeah. Someone just said they really hate when you question them, and that's what happened to me. I questioned a certain person, and that's when shit hit the fan, because I questioned them,
Hmm.
their
Yeah.
loyalty, their sincerity, what they were doing, playing both sides and in between, if I can say that as well.
But then it was turned around and projected onto you, though.
Yeah, that's right. Which is kind of funny, really. But it's actually been a blessing. Like, I think what that person did, saying what he said, it's actually been a blessing, because the doors are really wide open now. Like, I've had so many content creators contact me. My channel's doing even better. Like, it's actually shown them for who they are, not me. Do you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, because I haven't done anything. And it's just another layer of the snake shedding its skin. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that a lot of the people that went through a lot of stuff now are kind of like going like, wait a minute. And the thing is you're primed. They prime you, then you act on it, but you don't think about it when you're acting on it. And then when you take a step back and you look at the whole picture, then you're like, wait a minute. And you're right. They don't like to be questioned. They just
No,
expect like this blind obedience that, and if you question them, it's like, how dare you question my loyalty? Well, like, I'm just asking a question. Like, if you want me to put my head out there for you, like, don't I get to know the whole story?
exactly.
Right? The information is very controlled, right?
Yes, it is. Very, very controlled.
And they give information to specific people to make sure that they know who's going to talk,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
Absolutely.
Like, they'll tell, like, for example, they'll tell you something, they'll tell me something different, they'll tell somebody else something different. And if one of those things gets out, then they know who talked.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So it's that
It's crazy.
triangulation. Yeah, but it's that triangulation stuff where they control all the information, and they plant seeds everywhere, and then they basically see what takes, like, who's gonna fight this person, who's gonna, like, it's just there's so many tactics, and you get, like I said, you can't unsee it when you see it, right? Like now,
Do,
like I'm looking at things and I'm always thinking there's an angle.
do you think that's a bit of a military tactic?
It's very strategic and it's very calculated. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
why I said that.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. But like when you're in like, and that's why like a lot of people now, like every time something happens, like they think there's an angle because there's always been an angle, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder why she put out that live. I wonder why he put out that live. Like, like he put out this post because of this. Like now we're at a point where we're looking at all this stuff and we kind of know the way why they're acting the way that they're acting, right? Like, and Michelle said something on her live too. You know, like if they want somebody silence, this person must know something.
Yeah, exactly. And Michelle was one of the ones that they tried to keep everyone away from.
Yeah, yeah, and I wonder why, right?
Slime as well,
Yeah, yeah, and slime,
and
slime.
others.
Yeah, and Slime, like, I felt bad for Slime because they really did
Me
a
too.
number they did a number on him
Yep.
knowing what he was
I was
going through.
just going to say the same thing. They really did a number on him, knowing that he was going to fall for the bait, which in turn, what I was trying to say before was that's when that infighting came in.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was all planned and strategic.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, it's just, somebody just asked a question in the chat, does narcissism start from a young age? It actually does, but you have to be careful because, I mean, if we all remember ourselves as children, most children's are, like, they're egocentric. They only think about themselves. Like, they don't have the cognitive ability to see past themselves until they get older. But what happens is that narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder is an adult disorder. You can't get diagnosed with that until you're 18, but there are childhood disorders that are a precursor to that, like conduct disorder and oppositional defiant disorder. Usually if kids have that, they develop that, there's a good chance that in early adulthood they will be diagnosed with antisocial or narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can start from a young age when you have these conduct problems and these oppositional behaviors and stuff, and it progresses unless, you get therapy and stuff. But kids are narcissistic by nature, so you kind of have to be careful in that way. But if you're overindulged or you're neglected normally in childhood and you have the genetics for it, there is a good chance that, in adulthood after 18, you will get that diagnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you're indulged all the time as a kid and you can do no wrong, you're going to go on for the rest of your life thinking that. And if you're neglected, you're always going to be clamoring for attention. So
Crazy, isn't it?
it can go one of two ways. Yeah. But it can start from a young age depending on your environment and your genetics. If your parents have a personality disorder, there's a chance that you will be diagnosed with one. Like genetically, you're genetically predisposed given the right environment to have one yourself. Yeah. So I'm just looking at the questions just to see.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. No, therapy doesn't help narcissists. Carrie's right. You can only bring them a certain way. That's why it's the big joke, because they don't come to therapy. They don't think they're the problem. Usually it's the partner or the family member that ends up in therapy because they've been told that they're the problem.
Yeah.
Right? They show up there and they say, my mom said I'm a narcissist, or my husband said I'm a narcissist, or my wife said I'm a narcissist. And if you have to wonder if you're a narcissist, chances are you're not.
That is so true. I just seen something here from Candy Cane's Whips and Jeans. I love that name. The amount of time and effort people have put into trying to talk me out of supporting Michelle is ludicrous and pointless. Yeah, because obviously Michelle was questioning all the time, and they
Yeah.
didn't like that. And then they labeled her as, oh, she just smokes weed all day and blah, blah, blah. Hang on a minute. You get pissed all the time. So what's the difference? She's on medicated weed for anxiety, which she has said prescribed by her doctor.
Yep.
She's not a junkie. She's not out there popping pills and going on live carrying on like a lunatic. It's been prescribed. But yet They can go on pissed rants and it's okay. Okay.
Well, the hypocrisy is astounding at times. It
Yep.
is. It is. That's another thing that's, been very pervasive. It's do as I say, not as I do, and rules for me and rules for
Not
thee.
for
And
the
yeah, it's kind of like that, which I think is a little bit, it's just, you can't, like, what I also hate is that they talk about people that aren't even in the chat, that don't have a chance to defend themselves. I hate that too. Like, and I'm not
correct.
pinpointing it like anybody specific, but I hate when content creators talk about somebody that's not even in the chat. They're not there. Do not bring them up,
Yeah, that's right.
right? If they can't have their say, then, I would rather they talk to them instead of about them.
Yeah.
Right, like it's just, and like I said, the hypocrisy of what I know a lot of stuff that's gone on in the background. I know a lot of stuff that's gone on in the background, and the hypocrisy is astounding. I remember having a conversation with somebody that, what, like, this, the same stuff was happening to her. Like, they were telling her she wasn't well, they were telling her this, they were telling her that, they were, she was going to do this, she was going to, like, they would tell her how she felt, and all these things or whatever. And at one point I said to her, like, who are these people? Who are these people?
Exactly. One other person I'd like to kind of bring up is Gertie Rude. I've seen, well, most of us have seen her being absolutely trampled on and trashed on. And, you're a bad mother, and reporting her child and reporting her mothering skills, etc. Yeah, if someone says that another person is a bad mother, I've never said that, but I'm just saying what I've seen and heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They get their back up so bad, but yet they can say that she has early dementia and she's a bad mother and blah, blah, blah. How damaging has that been to Gertie herself? I'm not just talking about her channel. I'm talking about personally in her personal life, and how that has affected not only her mental health but her physical health. How do these people think it's good to do this to another person? Like, it's okay to do this to another person. Slime, for example, he was contemplating.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candle, he was the same at one particular stage. Bron, at one particular stage, and they sit and laugh about this. They trying to push Alex as well, and they sit and laugh about this. These are the things that actually really grind my gears, that you can drive people to an extent, and then they go, oh, they're just fucking mad, or they're this, or sorry about swearing, or they're this, or they're that. But they've driven them to that point, yet don't take no accountability for their actions and think it's a great big fat laugh. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. But the thing is that, like, the people that are gonna hurt you the most are the people that know the most about you. And
Correct. Yeah.
what they do is they collect that information. Like Gertie, the people that hurt Gertie knew Gertie very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still talk to Gertie. Gertie never did anything to me. I don't have an issue with Gertie. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't. Gertie to me has always been good. I still talk to Gertie. And Gertie has been through it. Gertie has not had an easy life, and they know what she's been through. So you know what I
The
mean?
buttons to push, the buttons
Yeah,
to push, the
yes,
vulnerabilities. And that's why, and that's what really pisses me off too. If they know your vulnerabilities, that's what they attack.
yes, yes.
But you can't then say anything about their vulnerabilities because you're a nasty, vile person if you do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just fucking crap.
Yeah, then you're mentally ill and you're all these things, and you're like, you know what I mean? And that's the one thing that it just sticks with me, because you just don't, like, when you throw that stuff around, like, it's a discredit to people who actually have that. You can't just throw that shit around. Like, there are
No, you
tests.
can't.
Like, it's, you can't label people when you're not qualified to do so. That's my pet peeve. That is my pet peeve. If you are not qualified to do so, you need to sit down. right? You need to sit down. And a lot of people will get that information. Like that is actually a problem now. Like a lot of psychologists have written about it, that people have jumped on the narcissist train and they've had this experience and now all of a sudden they're experts and we go to school for 8 years, but we don't mean anything. Like, I'm like, what is this? Are you kidding?
Exactly. It's just like Googling your symptoms and going, yep, I have cancer, or I have this, or I have that. Don't worry. Don't just dismiss what the doctor that's done 10 years uni, dismiss what they've told you that you're fine, but yep, Google it and say that you've got something.
Yep.
Go to the professionals.
Yep, exactly. And that's the thing. Like what happens is a lot of these people are actually whatever they're looking at. Like Ted Bundy is a good example. Ted Bundy left political science, he used to study political science in Washington, switched to psychology so he could better lure his victims.
Wow.
Okay, so a lot of the people that consume this information, that watch this stuff online and stuff like that, like they consume this information so they can do it better.
Yeah, and a lot of these people love to manipulate the subs, emotionally manipulate them. One the other day was saying that they can't go into crowds and they have a bit of social anxiety, yada yada, but they were going to go to a rally with tens of thousands of people. Don't say that you can't go into crowds if you're going to go to a rally, because I think that's a bit crowdy. Just to manipulate and get people to feel sorry for them. Oh, really? You have that problem, or you have that issue. It's just a real mind fuckery. I'm sorry,
Yep.
but it is. It's playing with people's emotions, and for people to go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that the army, the military did that to you. My husband is ex-army. He did 2 tours of Afghanistan. We don't put out all our bullshit on the internet or whatever. We don't need people to feel sorry for us or for whatever means or whatever, but these people continually want people to feel sorry for them all the time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? If they can play the victim, then they have people fighting on their behalf.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
right.
And the thing is the people that have been hurt the most in the community at this point were the people that were close friends with people, not the people that were distant. It's that they use all the information that you give them in confidence. And why wouldn't you trust your friends?
Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you trust your friends? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's like being in an abusive relationship. Why wouldn't you trust your husband, right? Like, and they care, or they pretend to care, and all they're doing is gathering information for that when you turn or when you don't do what they want, they can use it against you.
Yeah.
Right.
Then they play the victim card.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't like the way that people have felt, and the majority of the people that have been hurt, some of the ladies that I know that have been hurt, Gertie being one of them, they knew them well.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
Like, well enough to collect the information that they needed in order to push the right buttons. Candor was another one. Like, Candor had been around a while. They knew him for a while. But I mean, to get together and form a group to try to destroy people, like that's a little crazy.
Yeah, but the thing is that that's just going to ricochet on them now, because the game is up. The skin has been shedded.
Yeah, and it becomes a cycle, right? Like there has been little groups, and these little groups, and it's always little groups. It's little Discord groups, it's little X groups, it's little WhatsApp groups. It's all these little groups and all these little groups, and there's 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 little groups of different bunches of people, and they triangulate all this stuff. They make these people feel special, and they make these other people feel special, and they just they play around people and stuff like that. And it all stems from these little groups where they control the information, and they tell people certain things. They'll talk shit about the others to one group, and then they'll talk, they all do that to make the other people feel special.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all that triangulation, and they must be keeping books or something. I don't know how that stuff works, but my goodness, right? Like, how do you keep up with all this stuff? And the thing is the more information they have, the more they can use. Like, that's what I've noticed. The people that have been hurt the most in the community are the people that knew people well, people that knew each other really well, people that talked every day, people that met, all these different things, right? Like, the closer they were, like, the more they got hurt,
Yeah.
which doesn't make any sense. You know, if you're close to this person, like, why would you want to hurt them? And the people that are distant and in the background, like, you know, they don't feel it that much, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
Bron has just said that you'll need to tell her when to change screens.
Oh my god. Okay, well, this is what I talked about, the narcissism and the NPD. You can go to the next one. Does she hear me?
The next one. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, she does.
this is just about the DSM. Okay, go to the next one so people can see the criteria. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. You might have to zoom in, but these are the 9 things. You have to have 5 out of these 9 to get diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Yeah. So the grandiose self of importance, all the stuff that I said, they feel special. They only think they can associate with special people. They need admiration, and they have these unreasonable expectation of people. Like, how dare you question me? You know, how could you treat me this way? How dare, like, that kind of indignant response, and they're snobby and stuff. Okay, you can go to the next one, Braun. This is going to be a cliff notes of the presentation that had to be. Organized chaos asked, do narcissists have capacity of loving their children? Okay. When it comes to narcissists with the kids, they see the kids as extensions of themselves. The kids don't have their own identity. That's kind of how it works.
That makes sense. That makes actual sense.
Right. Like, it's almost like they have a tentacle and it's their kid, right? Like, they want to live vicariously through their kids. They want, like, if the kid doesn't do what you want them to do, then they freeze them out. Like, love is conditional when you have a narcissist parent. And narc moms and daughters is a very, very toxic dynamic, because the mom sees the daughter as a threat, especially if the daughter is close to the father.
Yes.
If that makes any sense. So the daughter, as she becomes older, becomes competition. Yeah.
That'll be Meghan Markle.
Yeah. 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 And that's the thing. Like, Juanita said, you know, I turn the tables and stuff, and they don't like that. They don't like you standing up and saying no. Right? I see what you're doing. I'm not playing your game. They don't like that. Juanita actually has, I've seen her take on a few people. She don't play. Juanita don't play. Mm-mm.
Neither do I. Am I a narcissist?
No, you're just assertive. There's a difference.
Like that.
No, there's a difference between being a narcissist and being assertive. You know what you know, and you're confident in what you know. So, like, the thing is narcissists, like, people who are narcissists, or anybody that has a personality disorder, have an unstable identity. They're almost like a chameleon. Like, they'll act however they need to act in that environment to get what they want.
No, I don't act. I just put it all out there.
Exactly. But if you don't like, you know, what somebody's doing, it doesn't matter who's doing it. You don't like it.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why I got shunned, because I stick up. Well, not stick up, but I point things out from different people. Like, if someone hasn't done anything to me, I'm not going to just dislike them because you dislike them. That's ridiculous. They've done nothing to me. So I know right from wrong. And if I see something wrong, I'm going to say it, regardless of the consequences. Yeah, no matter who it is.
No,
that's just the way it is.
But you also talk the talk, and you also walk the walk. You had to confront people that you were actually friends with about stuff that you thought they were doing wrong. It didn't matter who it was. To you, it was wrong. Like, you confronted this person, and you know what? It didn't break the friendship. You're still friends today. Like, when you're good friends with people, you have to be able to have these hard conversations, right?
Yeah, you do.
Like, you need to be able to have these hard conversations. And Bron, you can go to the next one. This is just their traits. They're arrogant. They have a fragile self-esteem, like all that stuff. You can keep going, Ron.
Thin-skinned.
Yeah, thin-skinned. Yep, that's one. And that's the causes, the genetics, and all that stuff. You can go to the next one. Because I want to get to the triangulation in the way these social media relationships work, right? There's, like, this is the two types of narcissists. The grandiose one basically, they're the boisterous ones. They're like the man of the hour or the woman of the hour. Like, they're the life of the party. They're those ones. And the vulnerable ones, they're a little bit more passive aggressive and a little bit more covert, but they both have a fragile self-esteem. They're both arrogant. They have big egos, and they neglect the needs of others. Like, they don't like the thing is, what I always wondered with people who are narcissistic or even antisocial is, how do they sleep at night? Okay, the way they sleep at night is, no matter what they did, if they got what they wanted, they think that's the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, the next one, Ron, please. Or not? Okay, so this is the grandiose and the vulnerable. They have different traits, but they all share that Venn diagram in the middle. They all share that, right? They need praise. They crave attention. They blame failures on others. They're angry and they're hostile. They manipulate and gaslight others. They lack empathy. They dismiss criticism and they claim credit. That's what they do. But when you look at the personality traits, the vulnerable is insecure, while the other one is self-aggrandizing. The one is charming, the other one is distrustful, right? And one's a leader, but the other one isn't the leader, right? They're passive aggressive, right? They have a little bit, their personality traits are different, but the core characteristics of a narc are the same. That's where they overlap. Okay,
Interesting.
you can go to the next one, Ron. Okay, so this is the thing. They have an inflated self-importance and a constant need for admiration, while the vulnerable one, they exhibit insecurity and self-doubt, but they harbor a strong sense of entitlement. But it's all kind of it's in the background. Like, they're not going to tell you about it, but they'll be in the background telling other people, right? Like, they're going to be indignant behind the scenes, but then they'll show up and say, blah blah, like they're just gonna come off that way, but behind the scenes they're really, really nasty. Next one, Braun. That's what they would call a covert narcissist. Okay, so vulnerability. You can go to the next one, Braun. Gone over this. Okay, so here's the NPD and the antisocial. I know that the word sociopath and psychopath has been thrown around too. You can be a narc and not be a sociopath, or an antisocial, but you can't be antisocial and not be a narc. Okay, so the narc personality will progress to antisocial at times, and a psychopath and a sociopath, that's not really a diagnosis. The term is antisocial, right? Like, that's what the real term is, but people use psychopath and sociopath. Next one, Ron, because a lot of people throw that one around too. They're a psychopath and they're sociopaths and they're antisocial, right? Because they don't have any pro-social behaviors. And this is the continuum. As you guys can see this, the extreme narcissism is the personality disorder. The self-esteem is on the other side, the healthy, but the ego is in the middle, where you're going to be, a little narcissistic about the stuff that you're actually competent in, the stuff that you're not inflating your accomplishments. Like, these are your accomplishments and this is true. Like, it's a balance. Like, most people are able to balance healthy self-esteem and pro-social relationships. Like, they don't need to step on everybody, right? They'll only step on people if they feel that their expertise are being questioned, where they actually do have these expertise. They're not inflating them, they're actually true, right? Like, kind of like me. Like, I went to school for a long time, so I don't like a lot of people talking about stuff that they don't really understand. Next, Ron. Fucking Braun with the PowerPoint. This is hilarious. Okay, this is the continuum. You can skip this one, Braun. I want to get to the part where it's the triangulation and stuff, because that's a really important piece in all this, right? Like, you're gonna recognize these things. Okay, so that's the thing. Like they have they act like they're the authority, right? And what they do is they envy people. They always compare themselves to people, which is why the competition and why the manipulation, right? And they're ashamed of who they really are, and they don't want people to see that. So there's all this garbage that they throw at people just so people can't see who they really are. But at the end of the day, they're very transparent, right? Next, Braun. I want to skip through all this because I've already talked about this. And that's the thing. They don't take accountability. They don't have stable relationships. And the context of the duration, basically, you have to be like this for at least 6 months to be diagnosed. And some people, like I said, it's certain context, but it's not all the time. But people where it's all the time and they just can't get along, well, that's going to be a problem. All right, next. Braun, it's a click, man. Okay. All right. Okay, go to the next one. I want to get to the triangulation and the gaslighting and stuff. Next. Next.
She's a good little secretary, isn't she?
Well, I don't know how she figured this out.
Neither do I, but we'll take it.
Next. Yeah, I'll take it because I was freaking out.
So was I. I was like, what? How do you
Yeah,
do this shit?
you can keep going. Okay, so here he is. Triangulation, typically there's limited to no communication between the two triangulated people except through the person manipulating them. They're the go-between.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's about dividing, conquering, or putting people against each other. All right. So, and sometimes, even if they're not in contact with this person, they've shut this person out, they're still going to send a person after them to triangulate.
Yep.
All right. They've blocked them, but then they're going to get somebody that's friends with them to go after them and badger them. And I know that's happened to Gertie because she told me. Gertie's been badgered more times than I can count. Okay, so here's the triangulation, right? Pitting people against each other, using indirect communication, sending messages through others instead of directly and openly talking about the problem, blaming others to avoid taking responsibility, like all the stuff that we talked about. Not in those terms, but you can see it, right? You can just see it, right? Next. Next. Next.
Instead of HG Tudor, we have Lady Luck Tudor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, next one, Braun, please. I want to get to the projection. Projection is a big one that they use as well, right? They project to avoid responsibility and imperfections. They want to shift the blame and they want to erode other self-esteem, right? They'll criticize and they'll blame you. They'll accuse you of things. They try to take your confidence, basically, because if they break you down, then you're more susceptible to let them manipulate you. Right? They distort, they project their own beliefs or perceptions onto others to confuse and create self-doubt in their targets. Right? Then you're going to start questioning yourself. Well, maybe it is me. Maybe I am, maybe I am crazy. Like maybe I did, they want to make you second guess yourself so they can take advantage of you. Next one. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, But this is the what they basically they'll tell you, right? Like they'll criticize your appearance, they'll claim that you're the narcissist. They say that you hate them if you don't want to do what they want you to do, well, you must hate them, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
not not because you have a mind of your own or not because you don't agree. You hate them. You just hate them,
Or
right?
you're not loyal.
You're not loyal, right? You have anger issues. You're mentally ill. They can't trust you. You're dishonest, and you don't
Yeah.
understand. You don't understand like they do, right? They understand a lot better than you do. You just don't see it, right? You don't understand. You're just not getting it, right? And they play the victim. They do that a lot. Next, Braun. The next one. Okay, so this is how you can get away from a narcissistic relationship. When you recognize it, you have to know the difference between fantasy and reality. That person you thought you knew doesn't exist. They're not coming back. They didn't exist, right? They're not going to give you closure. They're not going to apologize. You're waiting for something that they can't give you because they don't have it, right? And then you have to master healthy boundaries and stuff. You have to, it doesn't mean that you have to not defend yourself, but you have to recognize who you are. And if you want to stand up for yourself, you have to call it out. You just have to call it out to let them know that, you're done, right? Clear communication, basically, self-care, basically, like take care of yourself. It's not you, right? Like you've cared for others and you've neglected yourself for a long time. Usually these people take a lot of energy. They like the supply, they like the energy from people, and it's at the cost of those people. Normally they're not taking care of themselves. They'll put these people first because they give them no choice. You don't put me first, I'm going to badger you and bombard you and make your life a living hell, right? And then you kind of have to grieve that relationship, right? Like it's almost like a mourning, like the friendship you thought you had like didn't exist, and you kind of have to grieve it. It's the only
Yeah.
way to really get through it. Yeah. Next. I think that might be it. Or not. Is that the last one, Braun? Yep, that's it. Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. Like, keep your eyes and your ears open, guys. Like, if people, if they're not telling you everything, and when you're questioning stuff, you getting a lot of pushback, and you're being, called names or made to feel like, you don't know what you're talking about or whatever. Like, trust your gut and trust yourself. What, we're all grown here. Like, there's no children here. The majority of us have lived a long life. Some of us have raised children. We've seen stuff. We've been through stuff. Like, we know who we are, right? We know who we are and we know what we see. So don't let people,
Correct.
yeah, don't let people mess with your perception. Like, you've made it this far in this life with your perception, it must be okay, right? Like, that's kind of what I want to tell people. Make up your own minds, pay attention to the signs. But like I said, when you wear rose colored glasses, there's no red flags. So you gotta take those off and see, even if they're your friends and you think they care about you. Like, if something doesn't feel right, and when you question them, they get all defensive and stuff. Like, that's a little bit of an inkling that something might be off a little bit. Like, they're not telling you the whole truth, right? And talk to other people too. Like, don't let them divide you, right? Like, just don't do that. Don't get offended on somebody else's behalf, basically.
Someone asked, who are the narcs?
What do you mean, who are the narcs? There's
In the community.
there's tons. There's tons. There's tons.
Yeah,
There's
I
too many,
agree.
too many to mention. But I think you have to be like I'm here tonight, and I'm probably never going to be on again. Like, this is not what I do. The only reason that I'm doing this is because I think I owe this community a little bit. Like, I'm in grad school right
Thank
now.
you so much, Dale.
Yeah, and it's hard, like I said. So I've been kind of out of the loop for a while because I've been in grad school, but I feel like I owe the community this, but you have to be a little narcissistic to be able to put yourself out there. Like you have to have a, not narcissistic in a bad way, but have a really healthy level of self-esteem to be able, like I could never have a channel. Like I could never do any of these things. So I think that like a lot of people are like narcissistic in a healthy way, but there's a handful of people that just take it too far.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, look at Candor, how confident he is. Like, it just kills me how confident that guy is. I'm just like, whoa, right? And you, and a lot of channel creators, they
How
just,
do you see me in your professional point of view?
I think you're assertive and you take no, you kick ass and you take names. Like
Yeah.
I think you have a very stable identity. I think you're very consistent. And that's what I've been telling people that have spoken to me about you. She's very consistent, right? Like she's not wishy-washy. People who are wishy-washy that, change depending on who's around or all that, like you're very consistent. So that tells me that you know who you are and you have a very stable identity. You want what you want because you want it. You don't want it because other people want it.
No, I don't go with the crowd.
You don't. Yeah, you don't. You're friction.
Definitely.
You're friction.
And I definitely, if I see something, I will go gun-ho at it to prove a point.
Oh God, Harriet's in the chat. No, but that's what I've like, people that have asked me about you, like, what do you think of this MMD chick? And I said, I think she's just by the book. Like she, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, and that is 100% correct. That's why I wanted your professional opinion, because that's who I am. There's no airs and graces. There's no bullshit. What you see is what you get with me.
Yes,
I'm going to tell you as it is.
Yes, and I think you've been in the community around for people to know that is your pattern. Your pattern is, you're just very consistent in who you are and what you say. And if you like, most of the people on this channel can't come back and say, well, MMD, that's not what you told us last time, right?
No, they can't. And that's why I think when Trevor said what he said, is that's why I've gotten so much support, is because other content creators, very large content creators, have seen my consistency. They can't say that I've lied about anything because there's a scrap of nothing out there that I've lied about. So he had to manufacture a lie to try and discredit me, which has only made me look better because there's nothing out there that I've lied about.
Yes.
So they're egg on their face. And this is why it's so important to me as a person to be honest. And that's how I raise my children, because lies will come out eventually. Just say it as it is. Just be honest, whether it hurts someone or not. Hurt me with the truth. Don't fool me with a lie. That's the way I play. And that's why I really wanted to know your opinion on me as a content creator. And as you have probably heard or seen me perform, I suppose, what your professional opinion is of me.
But you have been very consistent in the face of criticism and backlash. Like, look at your relationship with Thomas Markle Jr. Like, you got a lot of crap for being friends with Thomas Markle Jr. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but did you abandon him? Did you turn your back on him?
Never. Not once.
You're very consistent.
Because I see the person he is, and that's the kind of person I am, like Michelle and like some others. I peel away the layers and see why they're acting the way they are, and then see what kind of person they are. If they are a good, solid person, that's what I'm attracted to in friendships.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you give that back, though. You give that back. You give back
100%.
You give back that consistency of, I stood by you. I'm not going anywhere, whether it's good or bad, whatever you're going through and stuff like that. And I've seen you stand up for Thomas Markle Jr. He's had a really rough time, and you've never held anything against him. Like, you're my friend. You're gonna have the good, the bad, the ugly. You are my friend.
Yep, 100%. And he has copped a lot of backlash, and I've copped, I don't say things to the community. I've had lots of death threats, real bad death threats. I've
Mhm.
had a lot of stuff behind the scenes that, reporters come to my door, and
Oh my gosh.
I know a lot more than about them than most people, but I have never once spoken out of school. I have
Yes.
never sold them down the river. And I've always stood by the three of them because I know what I know. I know them as people, not as Meghan Markle's family. I know them as people individually, the father, the brother and the sister. And that's why when I'm a friend to someone, I am their friend completely.
Yeah.
But once they cross me, you're done. See you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. But would you say that when it comes to friendships, it's more about the quality than the quantity?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
don't need a lot of people in my life. I'm
Yeah.
quite happy. I'm quite happy soaring like an eagle being on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do want is honesty and consistency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And
that's
that,
all I ask for. That's all
yeah.
I ask for. Candor, for instance. Yes, he can be as bitchy as fuck, but I
Yeah.
kind of like that in a way. But peeling away all the layers, he's a good person behind
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Everybody has a reason for what they do. But,
Yeah.
if he doesn't like something, he says it to me. If I don't like something, same as Bron. Bron and I have had our little tit for tats,
Yeah.
but I know that she's a good person and she has my 100% support.
Yeah.
I'm like you said, and it's true, and I'm thankful for your professional opinion. I'm not wishy-washy at all.
No, 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 and that's the thing. Like, I think that the basically is that you give what you get. Basically, like if people are going to be there for you, you're going to be there for them, and you're not going anywhere. You're not abandoning anybody. Like, it's you're very like that's what I noticed, and that's what I've told to a couple of people. Like there are a few people, like a lot of people actually in the community, in the subs as well, that are very consistent, right? If they don't like somebody, they don't like somebody. If they don't like this, they don't like this. Like they don't
Yeah,
change. They stick to their guns, and that's basically like I would rather have 3 friends that are real that I can count on
yeah,
than 10 or
40
15.
fakes.
Yeah. Just to say that I'm popular, right? Like who's got that kind of time? Like I
I
don't.
don't, and that's the thing. I never started a YouTube channel to be popular. Um, it was never about that. I'm not one of these that goes, oh, look at my numbers, oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, who cares? Your vibe will attract your tribe. People that know you as you truly are will stick around, and those that don't, well, bye, see
Yeah.
ya. Wouldn't
Yeah.
want to be ya.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also that because people don't know what's going on behind the scenes, when content creators react, like they don't always have the whole story, right?
No, and
Yeah.
I got hammered for 15 months, as you would know, about
Yes.
Thomas Michael Jr.
Yes.
15 months, and not once did I back down. Not
Mm,
once did I back down to any of the lies, any of the rumors, any of the rubbish.
no.
And
Yeah.
that's what people see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, you've been
People
very.
aren't stupid.
Yep. But I think your consistency and your strength probably shakes people, right? Like the people
Yeah, it
that aren't so
does.
stable, right? They're kind of like, how could she do this? Or why wouldn't she, like why wouldn't she go along to get along? Like kind of like that. And you're just not that person. You're not gonna go along to get along. Like if it's wrong, it's
No.
wrong. I don't care,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Because then it goes against my morals. If
Yeah.
I'm just playing the game just to play the game, no, that goes against my morals.
Yeah, yeah. But you have to live with yourself, right?
I am very bitchy though, Lady Luck. I can say
Well,
that.
whatever. Like I said, we all kind of have those days, but I think that you have to live with yourself at the end of the day. So like you have to sleep at night, and if these things don't sit well, and you've hurt somebody, like that's not gonna go well for you. You just you can't, like you're just not that person, right? Like you
No.
you have a conscience, like and some people don't, right? Like they just do whatever they do, and then they kind of forget about it while these people are hurting and they're going through all this stuff, and you just don't know what people are going through. And like I said, the people that have been hurt the most in the community were the people like all the people now that are kind of enemies, like started out as really good friends,
Yeah.
right? Like that's kind of what's sad because like,
I really like Michelle. I reckon, like, if I lived in the same country, we'd have some really good fun, like out and about having fun. I reckon would be great.
oh yeah, Michelle has her days. Like I said, like
Haven't
there's
we
some.
all?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's the same thing with Alex. Like he's got good days and bad days. Like I just, everybody's got good days and bad days. Like we're all human at the end of the day, right? And I'm not perfect, and nobody's perfect. So I don't judge people because I'm not perfect. When I work with clients, I don't want them to come in and think that I'm the all-knowing. Like I'm not the all-knowing. Like you're the expert in your own life,
Yeah.
right?
Cantor would like to come up and ask you a question. Are you okay with that?
Oh, I'm sure he wants to. Come on up.
Come on up. Well, I don't see you backstage, so you can't come up if you're not backstage.
Oh, now he wants to sleep. I'm looking at the chat. I want to sleep. It's late here. Okay, well, Candor, I'll talk to you some other time. I'm sure I'll run into you at some point. He probably wants to ask me why I walked away from the channel because everybody walked away, and then you guys gonna laugh at me, but I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said in the chat, like that I didn't like the way he was talking to my friends, and I don't mean that I didn't like what he was saying. It's that I didn't like the tone because I don't know if anybody else has noticed, and maybe it's just me. When Candor gets mad and he laughs, or he gets worked up and he laughs, he sounds like Vincent Price. Okay. So I had a fear of Vincent Price when I was little, and my brother used to chase me around recordings of Vincent Price to like scare me. Okay.
I don't know who that is.
If you've ever seen the Michael Jackson Thriller video, he's the guy who talks.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, the creepy ghouls and all that stuff.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Yes, and he used to be in a lot of horror movies, and my brother used to tape that on his little cassette deck and chase me. And when Candor gets going and the laugh and stuff, I'm just done. Like I got shivers going down my spine, and I just had to leave. I was like, like, so maybe that's what he wants to ask me, but that's kind of what. Oh, there's Harriet. There you are.
Have fun. I'll mute myself.
Yeah, yeah. All right, give
Hi
her.
everybody, it's Harriet from Harrogate, ex-beauty queen,
Oh,
still wearing the
God.
frock and the tiara.
Hurry up, Queen.
Hi. No, Lady Luck, no, I don't even know who Vince is.
You
But
don't?
no, but my situation with my laugh is I used to have a different laugh altogether until I got a nose job. And this is my laugh now. I used to sound like Yogi Bear when I laughed because my nose was twisted and I
Oh,
couldn't breathe properly. So this is the only laugh what I have now. Before I used to sound like Yogi Bear, like ooh, ooh, ooh. That's how I used to sound because I
oh my
couldn't breathe
God.
properly. So yeah, I don't know who the hell that person is, but I don't know exactly when you left my channel. But I was going through a lot and trying to find out who was who and
I
what was
know.
what
I know.
undercover.
Yep. Hmm.
So,
And
but
I understand that now, Candor. I get it now.
the thing is with me is when you said that person's quite a character or something like that, or confident or something like that, I think that comes off a lot of years of being bullied, and then you just
Mm-hmm.
look at people and you just go, "Hang on, I'm in my 40s now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not putting up with this shit of people offline who I don't know. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get a bit right back at you and see how you like it."
Yep. Yep. No, and I understand a lot of where you're coming from too. Like, and I've had this conversation with a few people where I'm kind of like, like you're disabled,
Yeah.
you're gay, like it marginalizes a person. You're isolated because of your anxiety and stuff like that. Like we
Mm.
don't know what you go through every day, right? Like I can't imagine it. Like it's painful when I think about it.
It makes me laugh how people behave and go on when they can function properly, go outside the house, go and live their lives, whatever they want to do, but yet they choose to sit online and attack people day after
Mhm.
day after day after day. And there's nothing wrong with them from getting up off the computer and going out with both legs and going out for a
Mhm.
walk and getting some fresh air.
No, absolutely. And you know, I have to commend you because like despite everything that you're going through, like you don't harp on it.
No,
You don't.
I tell you what I do try and move around in the garden on the frame. But obviously with it being winter now, it's a bit of cold here. So
Mhm.
I open up the door when I'm cooking with my medical chair and just let some air come in so I feel like I can breathe better, like at the
No.
door. It sounds
You
so
know.
sad, but that's the only thing I can do.
No,
So what was your hot question? Sorry.
No, just when she said about, like, I don't know if she said it was confidence or a right character or something like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you've worked hard to have that self-esteem now to put yourself out there. Like I could never. Like that's why I can't criticize any content creators because I don't have the guts. I really don't.
What it is, lady, look, um, Michelle will even tell you, for years she was saying, why don't you do your own channel? Why don't you do your own channel? I used to have a channel before, but when you were battered that much and you were battered down, this was in the gaming world,
Mhm.
you just didn't do because they're ruthless in there. You think Megxit's bad? You want to see how the gamers behave. It's like a rat race. But no, it's with me, it like had to take a lot for us to do because I didn't want to be in that situation again, going through my anxiety and stuff like that. So it was like a massive step to come up and do it. But I
Mhm.
needed to find out who was who and what was what. And the only way I was going to get to know is if you become a content creator and then you see how
Yeah.
people behave in WhatsApp and how the moderators act.
Mhm.
And I went straight to the source, and it was Micro Cock and his crew.
Yeah, no, and I think a lot of us didn't understand that at the time. Like you said, you have to break a lot of eggs to make a cake or an omelet or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And you know, and you really couldn't say anything and stuff. Like and that's the thing. And you know, sometimes you just have to kind of go in the shadows to kind of get that information. You can't expose everything. And I think a lot of us didn't understand that at the time, but now we do. We had no idea what you were getting behind the scenes. We had no idea, Candor. We had none.
No, this is the crazy thing, and the manipulation what goes on, it is horrendous. I will say the one who I think's strong, even though she's done some dodgy stuff back at them, is Michelle.
Oh, Michelle, yeah.
She is. Everyone says she's kooky round the bend. She could be those things always on weed, but she stuck it out. She's the only one what stuck it out for this length of time. And
Yeah,
the thing is, as soon as I became a content creator and you start seeing behind the scenes,
yeah.
that's when my eyes opened up and I should have left months ago. I was just
Mhm,
trying to find out if there was any more people. And
mhm,
then I just
mhm.
says, that's enough when they started going after her and trying to use me to go after her. And I'm just like, nope, I'm
Yeah,
not
but
doing it.
but who brought it up? Somebody brought it up on a live. I think it might have been in your earlier live MMD. It's like, you know, you talk about these shitty little channels, but why do you want to knock them out then?
Exactly. This is what I can't
Mhm.
understand. I think it's because what he does, he sets up little channels to make them fall for content for himself. Like he
Mhm.
tried doing it to me, where he's done it to everyone basically, but this time he hasn't gotten away with it. And then he's managed to piss off MMD as well, and that's a
Mhm.
big no-no too.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
That
and
no.
was one of the biggest mistakes. Checkmate.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's
then I said, right, Gertie, get her an interview because she needs to have a proper interview where
yeah.
she's not stressed out and looking like a demon. And I told
Mhm.
us, and I says, just speak calmly, put it across what you had to deal with, and people will understand you better. It was
Yeah.
me what talked her through it, and that interview
Mhm.
was fantastic. You saw the other side of Gertie.
It was really good. I have to say, Gertie did really well. I messaged her after, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that was just so like, you know, she didn't go as far as she could have gone.
Yeah.
She conducted herself really well. She, you know, she was very credible. Like Gertie is not the hotness that people think that she is.
Well,
Gertie
I
has been
spoke
through a
to her
lot.
on the morning. I says, Gertie, I says, show your human side,
Hmm.
slow down when you're talking,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just say what you've got to say. Because she was telling me stuff on the phone. I says, this is what you've got to say to them.
Yeah.
I says, be open. I says,
Yep.
I'll
and the
tell every.
moment, of course, the
Sorry.
moment you're open with people, the more they're gonna listen. I
Yeah.
says, when you seem closed off and harsh and abrupt, they think there's something wrong with you. And this
Mhm.
is the best way to get your side across is by being open and just slow down and honest with them. And it was fantastic.
Yeah, no, thank you for helping her come forward because I really I also really wanted her to. A lot of us did because like I said, Gertie's been through it and like she has really been through it, not just with this community stuff, the loss of her husband and her son and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. And they knew her well enough to be able to play on her. And that was devastating. Like Gertie didn't do anything to me. I'm not mad at Gertie. I was never mad at Gertie. Right. And the fact that I wasn't getting mad at people too was also a problem.
it's just a shame it has to come to these lengths where you've got to do this to find out who's who and what's what.
I know.
And I don't like taking anyone down, but I would.
No.
Lady, look what I promised people was every time I smell some ish, I'm going to call it out because these people have turned around and says that the honest, full and on bullshittery and all this crap. So I hold them to that account then.
Yes, yes. And
Like,
Michelle has been around a while and she's very perceptive. Like it's easy to dismiss her because she's funny and all this friggin' stuff. But every once in a while, she'll drop something and you're like, okay.
well,
Right.
the thing is, there's a reason why Avid couldn't stand her and Trevor. It's because she was telling the truth.
Yeah. Yep, yep. And I think she tells a lot more truth than she lies. Let's just put it that way. But she's very perceptive to how things are going. Like she's very perceptive to the game. Like she knows the angle before people have actually worked it out. Like if something is put out, like the angles too. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You guys have been around the community where you see why they're doing what they're doing, especially as a
Mhm.
content creator.
I just don't like it when people are getting used and abused, and I always say to them, never be a sheep. Stick your head up,
Hmm.
look
You
around, and see
abuse me
what's
all the
going on.
time.
Like you asked for it.
I
You
know. I love
see?
it. Give it to me. Give me
Yeah,
more.
but no, lady, look, it's the kind of thing when I say to them because people go like, "I'm a victim." I goes, "You're only a victim if you let someone treat you like a victim. Take your power back. That's what I've learned, and
Hmm.
don't let people walk over you and
No,
mistreat you.
no,
Only
but
you can let someone hurt you."
you've done really, really well. Like it's just, you know what I mean? You've risen above, like despite your anxiety and all this stuff. Like,
It's outdoors that it's like really outdoors, like or in like a group of people, like in a crowded room. I
yeah.
freak out. I used to do always a lot of data in admin where I wasn't
Hmm.
in like a big office full of people. It was just me on my own doing data, and I
Okay.
was quite happy doing that. It's
Hmm.
just you can't get jobs like that these days now.
No, that's true too. Yeah, no,
We'll just mute Candle. Sorry. Go on.
Do you know what,
Paybacks are a bitch.
lady? Look, she wants me to go over to Bondi Beach with my good leg and hoofer.
why
Hoover.
the hell? Why the hell not?
But
Why the hell not?
the thing is, I've got to get through an airport on a plane full of people and get
Oh
there.
gosh.
But no, it's I love MMD. The thing is with
Mhm.
me and MMD, we'll speak straight with each other. And MMD, stop telling people that I come across so nasty, but I've got a really good heart. Just stop it. Remember, I've got a hole in my heart. But lady,
That's
look,
funny.
I really do have a hole in my heart. It's a medical thing.
No, I remember you mentioning it. No, but I think that a lot of this, like I think a lot of the people in the community should be celebrated because they're brave enough to speak out about what they're struggling with and stuff. No,
Yeah,
like it shouldn't be used against them. Like this
yeah,
is a strength. Like we can learn from each other. They're not the only people struggling. Like chances are, if you're struggling, somebody else is too. Like
yeah. Well, I know I've gotten a lot of emails with people saying you don't know what you've done, and that touches us then, and I get freaked out because I'm thinking I haven't done much. It's yous, and I'm not used to people being kind. If you know what I mean. I grew up with strong women in my house.
yeah, Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Ruthless women. It's like you got to be
Mhm.
tough or you're out. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm, mhm. Yeah, but you just have to take it. You have to accept it. Like you've opened a door now, and people are waking up. Like people have been waking up, and now the pieces are kind of falling into place. And maybe we can make it better for everybody. Where instead of using tactics and strategies like this, you can just focus on making your channel better, kind of like you do. You have contests, you engage people, you have
Yeah.
people up on your panel, you do all these things, like it makes people want to be there.
Well, that's what I will say with my channel is I make it for the people what they want to even with memberships, give them a night what they want to talk about during the week, you know what I mean? And do competitions with them and put them first. Like not many content creators know a lot about the subscribers and stuff, whereas I
Mhm.
do.
No, it's true. It's true though. People, no, I've watched your channel. I've watched it, and people come in and you know exactly what they're going through. If like I know Jane lost her mom, it was give love to like you know exactly. You're attuned to the people that you have in your chat. You really are though.
Yeah. There's a lot of people with different situations, and I always remember with them and ask them if I know they're going through something without them even answering. So how are you today? How are you doing? And this kind of thing, and get them to come up and speak.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no, and I think some people are copying your format just a little bit.
yeah, I've noticed that. And a few people have mentioned it as well because I don't go to a lot of channels. I don't think that's me
Mhm.
being narcissistic.
No, no,
It's
no,
just it's just me not wanting to engage with the toxicity. Now I avoid it. The
no.
But yeah, I've noticed a lot of people have been
No,
trying to
and
get my
you've got
phone.
some really yeah, and you've got some really good mods and some really good people supporting you too,
Oh
like
God,
yeah,
Kathy White. You've got
Juanita.
Juanita.
Mhm,
There's a
mhm.
few of them in there. Even the core gear one. He's not been around. Lee Foster
Lee
over the
yeah, Lee
holidays,
Foster,
so I
yeah,
hope he's okay. Yeah, because he's
yeah.
in New York, and I know it can get rough.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
but you draw a lot of, like, good people, like-minded people, and it's you can tell that they're engaged and they're entertained in the chat, they really enjoy it, and I think getting to know yourselves is a good way, like, in a weird way, it's also content, right? Having people up and talking, and, you had Odette up, you
yeah,
had people up that you hadn't had up before, you had Sal up, you had Maria, like,
yeah.
it's kinda cool.
I can't believe you sit and watch me. You must watch us to know that all that.
Well,
Sh-
yeah, I
She
do.
watches us to analyze us and go, "Ooh, there's a crazy one."
No, no, no. When I tell
I'm
people,
kidding. I'm kidding, though.
well, you're kidding, but when I tell people I'm a psychologist, they start acting weird.
Oh no, I love it because if I'm crazy, I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
What
Okay. Okay.
I will
Okay.
say I will admit my biggest flaw is when I say I'm going to do something, I've got to follow it through. I
Yeah.
have to follow it through, and that is my biggest flaw. And a lot of people in the past, you're like a dog with a bone; you will not let go until it's done.
No, I was gonna say that you're persistent. You're very persistent. You weren't
Yeah,
you weren't mess you weren't messing around when you said you were gonna call shit out. You weren't messing
yeah,
around.
yeah.
No.
That I think that's my biggest flaw, and learn just let go. But I will when they start acting, preaching, practicing what they preach, basically. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, then I'll leave you alone. Then
Well,
it's
you were more right than you were wrong. I'll say that.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
hope that doesn't come across as being narcissistic. And
Oh, Jesus. No.
I
No,
always
no.
take the piss out of myself constantly, and I let the audience take the piss out as well. It's hilarious.
No, and you put out an apology for Alex, and that was like that actually brought tears to my eyes. Like that
But
was just
the thing
wow.
is, I was in a really bad situation at the time when
Mm-hmm.
Alex was going head over us. I
Mm-hmm.
had a stalker, I had people from all different channels coming at us, I had family issues going on, I had medical
Yes.
issues going on,
Yes.
and it was just all getting on top of us. And that was my reaction to hit back.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at it, because
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it as much as what Alex was doing it every bloody day.
I
But
know.
when I did
No.
rebuttal, I'm just thinking, was that wise? It's a bit
Mm-hmm.
immature
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. I mean, I still find it funny when I called him Michael Myers and did the whole what do you call it, living in a hotel. But that was only just dark comedy. But I wouldn't go around telling him every single day that he's a cutter like what the others do.
No,
It's
no,
wrong.
and that's the thing, like, you owned it, you were in a dark place, and, like, we didn't know everything that's what I mean, we didn't know everything at the time, right? On
Yeah.
the surface, it just looked like you were vindictive and malicious, but, nobody knew, because you don't advertise it, and now
No,
we
it's
know,
fake.
and you own your shit, hence, you are not the narc here.
And then me in the middle of it all, me trying to find out who's who and what's what when this is
Mhm.
all going on. And I'm just like, I was out on an island basically.
No, exactly, but I'm glad that you're doing better. I hope you take care of your health and your sugars
Yeah,
and stuff so you can,
that's
you
gonna
can
be
feel better. Yeah.
definitely this year in situations like that, mental
Mhm.
health, physical health, the whole lot.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's testing times, and this weekend's been a bad one. That's why I'm taking time off.
Well,
But
good.
I'm always here for people. I've been emailing back people what's emailed us, letting them know and things like that. And it's all good. I couldn't ask for a better people in my channel. I couldn't ask for better mods. You know what I mean?
No,
You just
exactly. No, you have good support, you have good people around you, and I think that helps.
thank you for talking with us, Lady Luck, and you're welcome anytime you want to come in or jump up on the panel. And I'm going to pop down because this is MND's panel, and she's just sitting
No.
in the background having a break, so she doesn't have to speak. I'm not doing her work for her. Get back in here, woman.
All right. Thanks for coming up, Candor.
Right,
Yeah.
everyone. See you
All
later.
right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Sleep well.
Bye.
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 Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
I don't have a lot to add. Like I said, if there's questions, I'll answer questions. But I mean, other than that, like, just keep your eyes peeled, people, because there are patterns, right?
there sure is. I can't thank you enough for doing this today, Lady Luck. It shines a lot of light on what's been happening in that so-called community and
Mhm.
how people have played underhanded. And now this year is the year of karma and makes it basically breaking down and people not holding any power over anybody anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just think that, people shouldn't be holding, like, put that energy and stuff into working on your channel and you will be successful. You don't have to play these games. You put that time and energy in making your channels better so people will want to be there. And that's a lot better than, what, it's probably easier than doing all this stuff behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't have any questions for you. Like I said, you're a pretty straight shooter. You're pretty transparent. So we kind of know what we're going to get with you. So
I freaking love you. Seriously. I love that. I love that you can see it exactly for what I am.
yeah, no, like I said, I've watched, I've learned, I know, like, don't mess with her. She's pretty consistent. She's a woman of her words. So don't cross her.
Yeah, don't piss me off. Just don't piss me off. It's quite
No,
simple.
no,
And
I'm good.
especially with a lie.
Yeah, you don't like people lying on you. Yep, I got that. I totally got that.
You're
Message
amazing.
received.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been very informative and absolute pleasure to have you and very honored. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your expert advice.
Well,
Very blessed.
anytime, like I said, I just kind of wanted to put some stuff out there to make people think. Like I said, that's all I want to do. I'm not whatever. So yeah. So thanks for having me up. Thank you for helping me do my part in doing this stuff, because this is my little contribution to try to rectify the stuff that I've done, kind of thing.
Thank you very, very much for coming. It's
Okay.
been a pleasure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a good one. Bye, guys.
You too. Bye. Thank you. How amazing was Lady Luck? Isn't it good to have an actual professional on board to speak the truth and to let everyone open their eyes a little bit on what's been going on. Like she said, it can't be unseen now. You can't unring a bell. Once that church bell's rung, you can't unring it. It dings, dings, dings. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Bron, for the super chat. Thank you so much for being backstage doing the PowerPoint. What would we do without you? What would we do without Bron? And Bron has taken a lot of shit in this community, but this year's a year of healing and a year of, you know, stepping up and stepping out. So thanks to all the mods. You've been absolutely amazing. Welcome to the new ones. That'll be kind of interesting. Have yourselves a lovely day or evening, wherever you are. And take good care of yourselves, and we shall chat very, very soon. Bye for now.